He Om Jnana-timirandasya Yananjana Shalakaya Chakshur Nilitanyena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. So we are continuing with our reading discussion of Śaraṇāgati by Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur. Welcome everyone here in the group. And Suvasini, did you want to continue with the reading?
Yes, sure. Okay. In the Vaishnava Tantra, the characteristics of Śaraṇāgati have been explained as follows. Anukulya. There's some.
Sorry, that was me, but it should be fixed now.
All right, okay. Anukulyasya sankalpaha pratikulya vivarjanam rakshishyatiti vishvaso goptritve varanam tata atma nikshepa karpanye shadvida Śaraṇāgati. Accepting everything favorable, rejecting everything unfavorable, being confident that Krishna will grant his protection, embracing Krishna's guardianship, fully offering one's self to Krishna and feeling oneself to be lowly are the 6 aspects of Śaraṇāgati. Among these 6 aspects, Goptritve Varanam, embracing the Lord's guardianship, is the complete embodiment of Śaraṇāgati. The other 5 aspects are limbs, angas. There are 3 ways in which one embraces the Lord as one's guardian. Physically, verbally, and mentally. These are described in Sri Hari Bhakti Vilas. Tavasmiti vadan vacha tathaiva manasa vidan tat sthanam asritastanva modate Śaraṇāgata. Declaring with their words, I am yours, knowing this within their mind, and taking shelter of your abode with their body, the surrendered soul rejoices. Surrender performed in full in these 3 ways swiftly grants complete success. Otherwise, the result obtained is proportionate to the depth of one's surrender. In order to learn Śaraṇāgati, one must first fall at the feet of Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, the teacher of Śaraṇāgati to the souls, who is the personification of the ideal of supramundane devotion, and non-different from the Acharya Sri Rupa and Sri Sanatan, and pray. Khandiya bale amito adhama shikaya Śaraṇāgati karohe uttama. Crying incessantly, I pray, I am so lowly. Please elevate me by teaching me Śaraṇāgati. In the teachings of our Param Gurudev, the supremely worshipable, radiant Vaishnava Acharya, Om Vishnupad, Sri Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Prabhupada, we find the good fortune of the world will be realized by profuse preaching of the songs of Śaraṇāgati. Thus, in accordance with Srila Saraswati Thakur's teachings and desire, our dearly beloved Gurudev, the embodiment of eternal ecstasy, Nityananda, Om Vishnupad Ashtotra Shada Shri Srimad Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar Dev Goswami Maharaj, has, for the ultimate welfare of all souls, written a befitting commentary for relishing the poetry of Śaraṇāgati, known as Sri Laghu Chantrika. This edition has been compiled to help those desirous of shelter to see the way of progress towards the feet of the Lord. Only after obtaining my Gurudev's merciful blessings, which bestow good fortune upon the world, has an unworthy and fallen servant such as I become engaged in the publication of this book. In this connection, I could not restrain my eagerness to cite his unprecedented treatise on Śaraṇāgati, the compilation known as Sri Sri Prapanna Jivanamritam. Within that book are recorded numerous fundamental truths, conceptual analysis, and so forth, related to surrender, which are essential for faithful and inquisitive persons to understand. This edition has been published for the welfare of the world. For the convenience of elderly readers, it has been formatted with a large letter typesetting for the main text and slightly smaller letter typesetting for the commentary. It has also been furnished at the end with a collection of prayers by surrendered souls, Śaraṇāgati Prarthana, and prayers unto Sri Guru Vandana. On account of my various shortcomings, there is no doubt that faults and omissions have occurred within this beautiful book. O Vaishnavas, saviors of the fallen and well-wishing readers, please bestow your forgiveness and affectionate mercy on this fallen soul. Purify him and make him fit to serve Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. In conclusion, this humble soul's prayer at the feet of Sri Hari, Guru and Vaishnava is that this book, Śaraṇāgati, may reveal her innate supramundane sweetness all over the world and thereby bestow eternal welfare upon the souls. The editor, Sri Gaurendu Brahmachari Vidyaranjan.
Very beautiful.
Yes.
And as the footnote here is explaining, this is our Gurudev's Brahmachari name because he was 19, right? We worked out he was about 19. I mean, this is not normal for a 19-year-old, right? I mean, he's sounding like a very authoritative, Vaishnava Acharya. But this is after just 2 years of having joined the Mat. And he's a 19-year-old Brahmachari. So his name was Gaurendu. And then, of course, later after sannyas, he became Srila Bhakti Sundar Govindadev Goswami Maharaj. What a beautiful introduction. Showing a very very humble Vaishnava mood, and of course is full of Susidanta, right? Sweetly presenting perfect conclusions of devotion. And I like that touch where Gurudev mentions it. It's nice to see like he's considering this, and they've published this in large letter type for older persons, right, who may struggle to read. So that's a very nice little detail to see there. So yes, very, very happy to go through this. Suvasini, did you want to add any more thoughts on this editor's note that we've been through?
No, whatever he said, it's actually also thinking, Gurudev at that age, how many scriptures he has quoted, right? Not just right. Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, and various Puranas, and, so many places he has quoted from. Mm. Yeah, it's so, perfect. Well, what we can say, this is, he's he's a Mahabharata, great personality. We are just looking at this and with some appreciation, whatever he has.
And we can also point out here, for those who aren't familiar, our Gurudev is referencing the Sri Sri Prapanna Jivanamritam, right? And this is an accompanying text. It's on the same subject. And we could say that perhaps that Śaraṇāgati is kind of more of a gentle and introduction to the world of Śaraṇāgati, and Prapanna Jivanamrita, because what is Śaraṇāgati? Śaraṇāgati presents in the form of songs, right? And so songs are automatically, easier to assimilate, right? But then Prapanna Jivanamrita is more like a scriptural text. with many, you know, Sanskrit quotations, Sanskrit verses, and is going in more deeply, more explicitly into the philosophical side of things. So you know, Śaraṇāgati could be kind of like a part 1, and then Prapanajivanamrita would be part 2. And for those who haven't yet read Prapanajivanamrita, I highly recommend put it on your reading list. Maybe we'll go through that next. You know, we did go through it. It's been like a year or two now that I'm losing track of time, but I think we have a bit of a new study group now, and we could go through it again. It's also a book, our Gurudev pointed out, it's a book to be studied regularly, right? In the same way that we study Bhagavad Gita, you know, regularly in our temples and in our home practice. And Prapanajivanamrita is also a book of that level that we want to go through again and again. So we may go through that again after we go through the Śaraṇāgati. I think that's all I'd say. Is anyone else in our group here today want to bring up any points here or has a question? And welcome, we had a couple others join. Scarlett joined, and I think Dana joined us. So welcome, everyone.
Steve has a question, yeah?
Steve.
A comment. Oh.
Not a question, just a comment. That one paragraph just completely floored me, where he says the edition has been compiled to help those desirous of shelter to see the way of progress toward the feet of the Lord, of course. But then the next sentence, only after obtaining my Guru's merciful blessings, which bestow good fortune upon the world, as an unworthy and fallen servant such as I become engaged in the publication of this book. It's just, I mean, that level of I just can't even comprehend such humility from someone such as, you know, Govinda Maharaj. So yeah, that one sentence is just really, anyway, that's all I have to say. The potency in the
very nice, Steve. And there's like an impact, right, that's there, because he's not just writing it, but it's coming. It's not just a poetic expression, right, but there's some impact there because you feel how it's coming from his heart. It's a very, very genuine expression. It's not just a sound bite, but it's coming you know, from the depths of his heart, and he's living that. Yes, very, very touching. Sometimes when you hear these expressions of humility from the great Vaishnavas, it's almost painful, you know, because we have some idea. We actually just have a very tiny idea of what their level of qualification is, but it's enough for us to feel embarrassed and, you know, pained to hear them make such, you know, heart-rending expressions. You know, there's a place recorded in Chaitanya Charitamrita when Rupa and Sanatan are expressing their humility in the most extreme way, and Mahaprabhu tells them, he stops them at a certain point and says, your humility is breaking my heart, you know, please, you know, stop, this is too much. Yeah, it's a privilege for us to hear such things, and it's showing us, right, what's the real indicator of a genuine Vaishnava. How will they express themselves? It is their qualification is measured in the inverse, right, by how lowly they feel, by how humble they feel. You can understand something of who they actually are. All right, well, should we continue then? Unless anyone else wants to bring up anything. Okay, so Srila Sridhar Maharaj, he's actually included this. This is interesting. I'd forgotten about this. It's very I mean, like, it's very special what we're doing here, because we have Bhaktivinoda Thakur's
text, right, of Śaraṇāgati, but that's like encased within Srila Sridhar Maharaj's text, right? This Lagu Chandrika Bhashya, his gentle moonlight commentary. And so it's very complete. And so this Mangala Charam, this is kind of like a traditional way of beginning a Vaishnava text, this invocation of auspiciousness where there's prayers to one's gurus and to the Lord. And so it's interesting, Srila Sridhar Maharaj's way of beginning, he's quoting this song. And this song is actually composed by Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, describing what is our lineage, what is our line of Guru Parampara, our line of disciplic succession. And this is actually an extract. It's part of a longer song, and we tend to just sing the second half. See, Mahaprabhu, I mean, this is actually like a whole discussion. I don't know if we should go into it totally now, because it might take a long time. But anyway, I think most of you are familiar with these things already. You know, so we're like technically, like our encyclopedia entry is Madhva Brahma Gaudiya Sampradaya, right? There are 4 principal Vaishnava lineages. And technically, our lineage is branched under the Madhva line. Madhva Charja is one of these principal 4 charjas associated with these 4 Vaishnava lineages. And then within his line, there's like a branch with Madhavendra Puri. And Madhavendra Puri, he comes at a certain point, quite a few generations after Madhva. And so Madhavendra Puri, he's representing the beginning of Mahaprabhu's Gaudiya line. He's representing the particular mood of divine love that Mahaprabhu came to give, right? So this song, it's beginning with, what is it? It begins with Lord Brahma, right? And then Brahma to Narada, Narada to Vyas, and then coming to Madhvacharya, coming down through his disciples, and Madhavendra Puri. And then Mahaprabhu, then it picks up with Mahaprabhu. And so we're technically known as the Brahma, Lord Brahma is like the head of our Sampradaya. Then Madhva, he's the most prominent Acharya in that line. So Brahma, Madhva, then Gaudiya. It's like the Gaudiya branch of the Madhva line. Gaudiya is indicating Mahaprabhu and his followers. So then this is, we normally, when we sing this song, we'll start from this verse, actually, it's our tradition, but in some occasions we may sing the full song. And so it's beginning with this very strong and clear statement, Mahaprabhu Shri Chaitanya Radha Krishna Nahe Anya. Like, we're worshippers of Mahaprabhu Shri Chaitanya Dev. Who is he? Radha Krishna Nahe Anya. He is none other than Radha and Krishna combined, non-different from them. So very clearly establishing the divinity of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and the fact that we are his followers. And we're also Rupa Nugas, right? In the line of Sri Rupa Goswami, the appointed successor of Mahaprabhu. And then the whole lineage is being traced, Srup Damodar, Rupa and Sanatam, and so on, right? Coming down to, in the modern times, Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati and our modern gurus. So it's quite interesting. Srila Sridhar Maharaj is kind of establishing right from the get-go, like, this is who we are. And he's also, giving honor to his guru because this is his guru's composition. So we normally sing this. Mahaprabhu Shri Chaitanya Radha Krishna Nahe Anya Anuga Janera Jivana. That Vishwambara Priyankara Shri Swarupa Damodara Shri Goswami Rupa Sanatana. And we'll normally sing this on the days of appearance of the acharyas who are mentioned in this song. So Shri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is non-different from Shri Radha Krishna, and is the very life of Srila Rupa Goswami Prabhu's followers. Srila Srup Damodar Goswami, Srila Rupa Goswami Prabhu, and Srila Sanatan Goswami Prabhu are most dear. to Vishwambar. Vishwambar is another name for Mahaprabhu. So then Rupa Priya Mahajana Jiva Raghunatha Hanatar Priya Kavi Krishna Das Priya Vada Narottama Seva Pada Jar Pada Vishwanatha Ash. The great souls Srila Jiva Goswami Prabhu and Srila Raghunath Das Goswami Prabhu are the dear followers of Srila Rupa Goswami Prabhu. Their dear followers Srila Krishna Das Kaviraj Goswami. His dearmost follower, Srila Narottam Das Thakur, who is ever engaged in his divine service. His feet are the aspiration of Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, then Vishwanath, Bhaktasad. So it's tracing the lineage, Baladev, Jagannath, Tarpriya, Shri Bhakti Vinod, Mahabhagavattavada, Shigora Kishodavada, Hari Bhajanete Jarmod. And we can also mention here, right, our line, it's a line of shiksha, not a line of diksha, right? Shiksha meaning a line of instruction or the message, not necessarily a physical, bodily connection. So this Baladev Vijayabhushan, he's a prominent example of that. He took initiation in a different lineage, but he later came to take shelter of Vishwanath, and he made an important contribution to the Gaudiya line. So he's counted here in our line of gurus. They're the foremost devotees of Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti are Baladev Vijayabhushan, Jagannath Das Babaji. Their dear follower, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, his associate, is the best of the topmost devotees, Srila Gaura Kishore Das Babaji, whose sole joy is the service of Sri Hari. Tadanuga Mahajana, Shri Krishna Kirtana Dana, Jebadilo, Puri Jagakam, Shivar Shabha Navivada, Sada Sevya Seva Pada, Tahara Dayita Dasanam. And the translation, the follower of Srila Gaura Kishore Das Babaji, the great soul Dayita Das, this is the hidden name of Saraswati Thakur, whose wealth as Sri Krishna Kirtan fulfills the desires of the whole world. He is the dearmost of Shivar Shabhanavi and is always engaged in her service. Jiva bina deho divya swarup ruparago jivya sada sevya se parapadma jar bhagyodaya sanda das ramananda manda shri chandrika deke seva sadma. And of course this last line, or this line before describing Saraswati Thakur, that was added, I think, by Srila Sridhar Maharaj, because of course Saraswati Thakur didn't include his own name in this line of acharyas, but that was added by his disciples. And I believe this is Srila Sridhar Maharaj's, I think it must be his own addition. So the divine personage of Sri Dayita Das is non-different from Srila Jiva Goswami Prabhu. His very life is Srila Srup Damodar, Srila Rupa Goswami Prabhu, and Srila Raghunath Das Goswami. His lotus feet are to be served eternally. The feeble Ramananda Das, whose good fortune has arisen, sees the Sri Lagu Chandrika Bhashya as the temple of his service. And so this is important here. This is significant. Srila Sridhar Maharaj is referring to himself in a hidden way here. Does anyone in our group, other than Suvasini, can anyone in our group say where is Srila Sridhar Maharaj's name? Because he's mentioning himself in a hidden way by a name that not many are familiar with. Does anyone in our group know? Maybe Tungarasa knows. Or maybe she's at work. So she can't talk. Can anyone say? Where is, you can guess actually. You can guess. It is Ramananda. This was actually a name given to Srila Sridhar Maharaj by Saraswati Thakur. His initiated name was, what was his initiated name again? Ramendra Sundar, right? His initiated name was Ramendra Sundar. And then there was one occasion when Saraswati Thakur sent Srila Sridhar Maharaj to South India to discover the place of discussion between Ramananda and Mahaprabhu, Ramananda Rai. right? Ramananda Rai, who is one of the close associates of Mahaprabhu, and who's actually Vishaka Saki and Krishna Lila. There's this famous discussion that took place between Mahaprabhu and Ramananda. It's recorded in Chaitanya Charitamrita. And a very important discussion. We've had some talks about that discussion in our meetings, where the whole gradation of theistic thought is discussed. And so at that time, when Saraswati Thakur sent Srila Sridhar Maharaj, he wanted him to identify the exact place where that discussion had taken place, because Saraswati Thakur had this one project, for lack of a better word, of establishing Padapit, establishing the footprints of Mahaprabhu in all the places where he traveled throughout India. And so he was trying to identify all the different places Mahaprabhu visited. And so this was one important location where this conversation took place. So he sent Srila Sridhar Maharaj at that time. His name is Ramendra Sundar. But Saraswati Thakur changed his name. He gave him the name Ramananda Das. And he was an appreciation for the service he was going to carry out, and also indicating some connection between Ramananda Rai and Srila Sridhar Maharaj. And this was an identity that Srila Sridhar Maharaj held very close to his heart. And on a few occasions, even after he'd already been given the name, the sannyas name of Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar, he would sign his name with Ramananda Das. And it's the same at the end of Prema Dhamma Deva Stotram, right? And another important composition of Srila Sridhar Maharaj. So this was very close to his heart, and we see humbly, he's writing as a sannyasi with Bhakti Rakshak Sridhar, but he's signing himself like this as the servant of Ramananda Das. So this is quite significant. And this is a beautiful expression, isn't it? Seva Sadma, the temple of his service. He's seeing this, like this commentary is an abode, a temple of his service. Very beautiful vision. In Vaishnava conception, everything is personal, right? And so he's seeing this commentary as something living. It's like this living service opportunity. Very beautiful expression. It would actually, and now here, these verses 6 and 7, these are so these other verses, they're like song and they can be sung. And these are more like to be recited and prose, right? Prose, not poetry. That's the word I want. And this verse number 6, or both of them, they go together really. They're like, and if I have to make a top 10 of my favorite verses, I'd probably include. It's really nice, the imagery here. But before we get to that, I'm thinking maybe we can actually hear, because we have a recording of our Gurudev and Srila Sridhar Maharaj chanting this song, and it would be nice to, let me see if I can find it right now. I think I put it on, let me see if I can find it. I think I put it on SoundCloud. Did I put it as its own track? This is the question. Is it going to be easy to find? This is the question. Kirtan. Here it is. Okay, I've got it here. Okay, I'm going to do a screen share, or a sound screen share.
I can stop the share here. Should I, or what should I?
Oh yeah, because we can't do two at the same time. Oh yeah, that won't work. Huh.
Maybe I can stop share and then you can play it.
But we want to read the text at the same time.
Right.
So then I need to open it up here. Let me see if I can do that very quickly. Sorry, everyone. Not organized as usual. Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Śaraṇāgati. Do I have it here? No, I don't have it here. Okay, well, oh, it would be very nice to share this. Can I find Śaraṇāgati here? Okay, it's going to take too long, but okay, then I'll just play the audio because I've got that ready here. So if you can stop your share, and I will, I will share. Where is share? I should be able to share, right? Okay, let me open this up. Here it is. Share screen, share sound, share. Okay, now I'm going to see if I can also open up. But anyway, here it is. Sorry, this is a different song. Another song. Sorry, everyone. Here it is.
Let me just প্রিয়ঙ্কর স্বরূপ দামোদর গোস্বামী রূপ সনাতন গজনের জীবন
Trying to play it from the beginning.
বিশ্বম্ভর প্রিয়ঙ্কর স্বরূপ দামোদর বিশ্বম্ভর প্রিয়ঙ্কর স্বরূপ দামোদর গোস্বামী রূপ সনাতন রূপ প্রিয় মহাজন জীব রঘুনাথ হন রূপ প্রিয় মহাজন তার প্রিয় কবি কৃষ্ণ দাস কৃষ্ণ দাস প্রিয় বড় নরোত্তম সেবা বড় যার বদ বিশ্বনাথ দাস
Gurudev from the Laguna is leading.
আয় বিশ্বনাথ ভক্ত সাথ বলদেব জগন্নাথ প্রিয় কিশোর বর ও মহাভাগবত মন গৌর কিশোর বর হরি ভজনেতে যার মর ভজনেতে যার ও শিবার শোভান বিবরা সদা সেব্য সেবা করা তাহার দ্বৈত দাস নাম তাহার দ্বৈত দাস নাম এই সব হরিজন গৌরাঙ্গের নিজজন এই সব হরিজন গৌরাঙ্গের নিজজন তাদের উচ্ছিষ্টে মোর কাম উচ্ছিষ্টে মোর কাম
Okay, so 1982 historic recording, Saraswati Thakur's appearance day in our temple, Navadip, led by Srila Govinda Maharaj, and Srila Sridhar Maharaj is in the group, also responding. So very fortunate we can hear that. I'll share the link if anyone wants to listen again. The recording was coming through a little distorted. Oh, that's not what I wanted to put.
It's beautiful, Didi. You played this very nice. Yeah, it's so nice.
Well, you can find it here. Can't get the exact here. Okay. All right. Well, maybe I'll just continue with the sharing. We're almost at the end of our meeting. There was an extra verse there which isn't included in this version on the screen, just in case anyone got thrown off. So going back to Lagu Chandrika Bhashya, Srila Sridhar Maharaj's text. So we've come to these verses. This is all part of his introduction to the commentary and the work of Bhakti Vinod. Now these two verses are wonderful, and Srila Sridhar Maharaj himself appreciated them, his own writing, and he quotes them. You see, and some of you may recall from Sermons of the Guardian of Devotion, volume 1 or 2. In fact, it's quoted in one of the introductory portions we went through it previously. So these verses, sorry. Swairachadabdi samagnam jivan gorangi pankaje ujricha sharanapatir mahatmyam samabodayat yastasya bhakti siddhanta saraswati prabhur guru atyudara parambo jaduli sham janma janmini. And then, oh, wow. Now this is one of, this verse of Srila Sridhar Maharaj is a celebrated verse. It's an extraordinary verse. Those two we just went through, glorifying what Saraswati Thakur gave to the world. Now this verse is another extraordinary verse, more well-known, we could say, in 2 lines. And we were discussing this earlier today. By the way, we have a very special surprise coming out for Srila Sridhar Maharaj's appearance day this coming Monday. Very special video Ananda Krishna is working on. Stay tuned for that. But one of the things about Srila Sridhar Maharaj that has been recognized is he has this wonderful ability to express a lot, right? A great depth of
wisdom, of knowledge, Siddhantic wealth in a very concise way, like sutras. He comes out with these sutras in English too. Some of his talks just coming out naturally in his speaking, they're like sutras, like concise poetic expressions holding a profound amount of thought, right? So this is one wonderful example in 2 lines. Srila Sridhar Maharaj, in a very poetic way, and without sacrificing the profundity of thought, who is Bhaktivinoda Thakur and what is his gift? He's like listing Guru Dham, Granta Dham, Goda Dhamma Dham. And the word Dham means like giving, to give what he's given. He is the giver. So he's the giver of Guru, Granta Dham, the giver of scripture, Gora Dhamma Dham, play on the sound here. He's revealed Gora Dham, the birthplace of Mahaprabhu, Nama Dham Muda. He's given the name, right? In the sense that the conception of the holy name was very polluted, right? How we will chant the name, what is the name? There was a very mixed conception about that. Bhaktivinoda Thakur, he laid out the proper line of practice, how we can actually approach the pure name. Nama Dham Muda, Bhakti Dham, he's the giver of devotion, right? The conception and practice of pure devotion. Buddhi Dham, what a great abundance he has given. Vande Bhakti Vinoda Kam Sada. So this is another wonderful verse. And then Bhakti Vinoda Devena Śaraṇāgati Namika Rachita Pushtika Kachit Tasya Bhashe Kritodya Maha. Okay, so going back to those verses we read on the other page, this is the translation, glorifying Saraswati Thakur. My master, the universal guru, Bhagavan Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, uplifts the conditioned souls submerged in the ocean of their whimsical activities to the lotus feet of Sri Gauranga and enlightens them about the greatness of Śaraṇāgati. Let me be a particle of dust at his supremely magnanimous lotus feet, birth after birth. So let's unpack this, right? What's our situation as one of these conditioned souls? We're drowning in the ocean of what? Our own random, whimsical, mundane activities. So he's Saraswati Thakur, how merciful, how glorious is he? He's lifting us from that ocean of our own mess, right? What's he doing then? Placing us at the lotus feet of Mahaprabhu. And it doesn't stop there. Then he's giving teachings about the greatness of Śaraṇāgati, surrender. I mean, how wonderful is this? So let me be a particle of dust at his supreme magnanimous lotus feet, birth after birth. So those were those 2 verses glorifying Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati. Then this next one, this Guru Dham, Granta Dham, Goda Dhamma Dham, this verse translation, I perpetually offer my obeisance unto Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur with great joy. Guru Dham. And actually there's a bit of a play, isn't there? Because the word vinod means joy, right? And that's also part of Bhaktivinoda Thakur's name. So there's a bit of a, he's saying like with great joy, I am eternally offering my obeisance unto Bhakti Vinod. So it seems like there's a play on this double meaning, right, of this word Vinod. Oh no, Muda is translated as joy here, sorry. I made a mistake. But the word Vinod, it does mean something like joy, doesn't it? Suvasini, do you remember?
No, we know this. Don't know. Can't remember.
There's some, I can't remember what the exact meaning is. I thought it meant something like joy. Let me see if I can find we can quickly find. We know it's sometimes used as a name of Krishna, isn't it? Like we hear Saraswati Thakur gave that name to many of his deities, right?
Pleasure. Yeah.
Pleasure. Okay, that's it. Pleasure, pleasure. Okay, so sorry, got that a little wrong there. Pleasure. Yes, that's right. Okay. So anyway, we'll go back here. So I perpetually offer my obeisance unto Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur with great joy. Guru Dham, he is first and foremost the giver of Sri Guru, Bhagavan Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, the inaugurator of the new era of Gaudiya Vaishnavism. Grantha Dham, he is the author of numerous commentaries, treatises, articles, novels, and songbooks, which represent the condensed essence of revealed truth. Our Gurudev, and in fact, I think he even wrote a poem about it. He compared Bhaktivinoda Thakur to Vyasadev, right? In the same way that like his work is on that level, right? Like Vyasadev has presented the Vedas in this organized way and ultimately given Srimad Bhagavatam, which is the final word in the Veda. So this is the scope of Bhaktivinoda Thakur is operating on that level, right? He's revealing scripture and giving scripture also, his own in his form of his own writing. Gaur Damadam, he is the revealer of the abode of Srimad Mahaprabhu, which had become lost due to the course of time, because right, that was a whole that was a point of contention, right? You know, where is the real birthplace of Mahaprabhu? And there were, you know, different, and to this day, right, there are people who will say different places are the real birthplace. But Bhaktivinoda Thakur, you know, went through a lot of trouble and carried out a lot of research. And then he also, you know, in his internal heart, you know, had verification. And in many ways, finally, it was confirmed, you know, that Mayapur, you know, and a specific location within Mayapur to be the birthplace. And anyway, that's a whole other talk on its own, so we won't get too sidetracked here. Namadam, he is the giver of the name, the proper conception of the name. Bhakti Dham, he is the giver of pure devotion, the proper conception of pure devotion, the line of Srila Rupa Goswami. Buddhi Dham, he is the bestower of an abundance of divine fortune, ultimately the service of Srimati Radharani. Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur composed a short book entitled Śaraṇāgati, upon which I have written a commentary. Now, though I am very dull-witted, for the sake of illumination, I offer the devotees this gentle moonlight commentary, which represents the conclusions of pure devotion. Okay, so we're getting closer. We're still going through the introductory content. We went through, I mean, it's very cool, actually. Like, this is actually very much in the line of real Vaishnavism. Like, everything, like, if the real approach is you don't go directly to the thing, but you're like 5 times removed at least. So like the text we're going to study is Śaraṇāgati. But before we get to that, we're hearing Srila Sridhar Maharaj's introduction to it. And before we get to that, we're hearing our Gurudev, Srila Govinda Maharaj's introduction to it. And before we even got to that, there was additional material from the talks of our Gurudev and Padam Gurudev, Srila Sridhar Maharaj. So it's like what these things are, they're like lens, like a telescope. You know, there's so many layers of lenses which are actually enhancing our appreciation, enhancing our vision, right? So we still haven't got to the actual text of Śaraṇāgati. We're going through different layers of appreciation, which will enable us to have a deeper level of appreciation of this text. So now I think we've come to the final introductory section. Oh, it's actually quite short. Maybe we'll read that then, and then next week we can begin with the actual text of Śaraṇāgati. So I'm going to read this. It's not very long. So this is from Srila Sridhar Maharaj's, and remember there are different editions, because this is kind of like a third edition, you could say. There's what Srila Sridhar Maharaj wrote in would have been like around 1941 that he wrote this commentary. Then our Gurudev published it in 44. So that's kind of like another layer. And then this is our English edition, right? So this is now our final introductory text. Preface by Srila Bhakti Sridhar Dev Goswami Maharaj. Sri Krishna Chaitanya Dev has clearly declared within this material world the message that the fortune of Sri Krishna Prema, divine love for Sri Krishna, which condemns the four ends of conventional religion, dharma, piety, artha, wealth, calm, enjoyment, and moksha, liberation, is the fifth and supreme end of human life. So Pancham Purushartha, right? Fifth goal of life, Mahaprabhu has announced this. So this Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha, these are all within the human plane, actually. But what is actually the life of the soul in its liberated state? This Krishna Prema, divine love for Krishna. Now, where does Śaraṇāgati fit into all this? Śaraṇāgati is the sole means to obtain that topmost end of human life, to enlighten the souls conditioned in the material world about this, and to reveal the process of Śaraṇāgati. Sri Krishna Chaitanya Dev himself descended along with his eternal associates and divine abode, Sri Navadvip Dham. He taught Śaraṇāgati through his own practice and preaching, as well through the practice and preaching of his capable servants. Sometime later, one of his devotee associates, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, gave extensive guidance about the practice of Śaraṇāgati through analysis and description of its limbs and sublimbs in this small book named Śaraṇāgati. Prior to Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur, other acharyas also spoke at length about Śaraṇāgati. Additionally, the fundamental teachings of Śaraṇāgati are found within Srimad Bhagavad Gita and Srimad Bhagavatam. The subject of Śaraṇāgati is also especially well known within the Sri Sampradaya. So this is Ramanuja's line. Still, the way in which Sri Krishna Chaitanya Chandra has revealed the fundamental nature of Śaraṇāgati is unparalleled. He has taught that Śaraṇāgati is the appropriate means of attaining the fortune of the divine loving service, Prema Seva of Rajendra Nandan Krishna, the whimsical enjoyer of the wives of the cowherdmen of Braja, whose divine form is the origin of the absolute truth. Therefore, in order to distribute these illustrious teachings of Śaraṇāgati, Srimad Bhaktivinoda Thakur has invoked the benediction of that supreme, munificent origin of all avatars, Sri Chaitanya Chandra, by first mentioning his name while establishing the theme of his treatise within his invocation of auspiciousness. So now we have come to the text of Śaraṇāgati. And maybe just, we actually have recordings of some of our devotees, maybe it's like 10 years ago now in Navadvip, they made a set of recordings going through all these songs, so we can follow those songs. So let's do that as a way to close our meeting for today. Oh, and of course I shut off the tab for SoundCloud. Why did I do that? Let me find it again. And I see that Julian has joined us. We're just about to end, but we are going to play. You're not going to miss out. We're going to play this recording. I think that'll be a nice way to close our meeting for today. Let's find it here. Okay, so here we are. Is everyone ready?
Bhaja Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda. Shri Advaita Gadadhara Sivasadi Gaur Bhakta Binda. Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Binda.
কৃষ্ণ চৈতন্য প্রভু জীবে দয়া করি শ্রীকৃষ্ণ চৈতন্য প্রভু জীবে দয়া করি সর্পাসদ শিয় ধাম সহায় অবতরী অত্যন্ত দুর্লভ প্রেম পরিবারে দানা অত্যন্ত দুর্লভ প্রেম পরিবারে দানা শিখায় শরণাগতি ভক্তের প্রাণ শিখায় শরণাগতি ভক্তের প্রাণ ধন্য আত্মনিবেদন গুপ্তিতে বারণ রাখিবেন কৃষ্ণ বিশ্বাস পালন কৃষ্ণ বিশ্বাস পালন ভক্তির অনুকূল মাতের কার্যের শিকার ভক্তি অনুকূল মাত্র কার্যের শিকার ভক্তি প্রতিকূল ভাব বজানঙ্গিকার শরণাগতি হইবে যাহার শরণাগতি হইবে যাহার তাহার প্রার্থনা শুনে শ্রীনন্দ কুমার তাহার প্রার্থনা শুনে শ্রীনন্দ কুমার রূপ সনাতন পদে দন্তে তৃণ করি ভকতি বিনোদা পরে দুই পদ ধরি ভকতি বিনোদা পরে দুই পদ ধরি কাদিয়া কাদিয়া বলে আমি তো বলে আমি তো শিখায় শরণাগতি কর হে উত্তম
What have I done? Okay, sorry, I'm just so confused because I'm using two screens here and I don't know what I did with the sound. I'll try and fix the screen issue next week. But I hope that all didn't come out too distorted. So look at this, right? Srila Sridhar Maharaj's commentary on this song. There's so much scriptural reference behind this sweet, simple song, right? So we'll go through this next week. We're about to do our evening arati here. So yeah, we'll close here. I'll stop the screen share. Great to have you join us, Julian. Even in the last few moments. And thank you all for your good association. Thank you so much, Suvasini Didi, for hosting so kindly, as usual. And I'll look forward to next. And so, are we back on our normal time next week? I don't know when the time's changing. Maybe next week will be earlier in Europe too.
I
don't
think
know when.
so. They still, do they change time next week in America? I don't know.
Steve, do you know when your time changes? Okay, it's probably not next week though. I think it is a 2-week lag.
Okay.
So then next week we'll do an hour earlier again, European time, but it'll be the same time for America, 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time.
9:30, is it?
Yeah, it's 9:30. Oh, sorry. Yeah, 9:30 Pacific. The Wednesday meeting is 9:30. That's right. Yeah, sorry. Okay. Jai Shri Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj ki jai. All glories to all the assembled devotees. All glories to Śaraṇāgati. All glories to Shri Bhakti Thakur. Have a beautiful week, everyone, and I look forward to next time. Hari Bol.
Haribol. Thank you, Vishaka.
Thank you,
Jai.
Didi.
Vishaka Didi. Jai.
Jai.